All Souls' Day is a special day, a day filled with deep meaning and reflection. It's a day to remember those who have left us. We remember those we love dearly, those who touched our lives in profound ways. We remember those who died, honoring their memory with our presence and prayers. It's a time to pray for them, to offer our thoughts and hopes for their peace. We pray for their souls, seeking comfort and solace in our faith. This day is observed on November 2nd, a date set aside for this solemn occasion. It follows All Saints' Day, which is celebrated on November 1st. All Saints' Day is on November 1st, a day to honour all the saints. Together, they are part of Hallowtide. Hallowtide starts with Halloween, a time of fun and festivity. Halloween is on October 31st, marking the beginning of this sacred period. Hallowtide is a time to remember the dead, to reflect on their lives and legacies. It is also a time to celebrate saints, those who have led exemplary lives. All Souls' Day is a Catholic tradition, deeply rooted in the Church's history. But people all over the world celebrate it, each in their unique way. They celebrate it in different ways, with diverse customs and traditions. But the purpose is the same: to honour and remember those who have passed away. It's to honour and remember those who have passed away, keeping their memory alive. All Souls' Day reminds us of the importance of remembrance. It reminds us that death is not the end, but a transition to another existence. Our loved ones live on in our memories and stories. They live on in our hearts, forever cherished and never forgotten. We honour them by remembering them, by keeping their spirit alive through our actions and thoughts. The story of All Souls' Day begins in a serene and ancient monastery. This monastery was located in Cluny, France, a place known for its deep spiritual roots and monastic traditions. A holy man lived there, a revered figure in the monastic community. His name was Odilo. He was not just any monk. He was the abbot of the monastery, a position of great responsibility and respect. One day, Abbot Odilo heard a compelling and mysterious story that would change the course of history. The story was about a pilgrim, a traveller on a spiritual journey. This pilgrim found himself caught in a terrible storm at sea, a storm that threatened his very life. The storm was so fierce that it shipwrecked him on a desolate island, far from any help. On this island, he encountered a hermit, a solitary figure living in isolation. The hermit revealed to him a vision of a fiery chasm where souls were in torment, suffering immensely. The pilgrim was deeply shocked and disturbed by this sight. In his confusion and concern, he asked the hermit who these suffering souls were and why they were in such agony. The hermit explained that these souls were undergoing purification, a necessary process for their sins to be cleansed. This purification process was essential for them to be purified from their sins and eventually reach a state of grace. This place of purification is known as purgatory, a concept that was both enlightening and terrifying to the pilgrim. The pilgrim learned something profoundly important that day, a revelation that would stay with him forever. He realized that prayers from the living could aid these suffering souls, helping them in their journey towards heaven. These prayers could provide the assistance needed for these souls to finally reach the peace and joy of heaven. Abbot Odilo was deeply moved by this story. He pondered the pilgrim's tale and felt a profound sense of duty and compassion. Inspired by the story, he decided to initiate a new practice within the monastery. he proclaimed that a special day should be dedicated to prayer, a day specifically for the souls in purgatory. This day would be devoted to praying for these souls, offering them the spiritual support they needed. He chose November 2nd for this day of prayer, a date that would follow All Saints' Day. This timing was significant, as it created a continuum of remembrance and prayer for all the departed souls. The practice began to spread. It spread from Cluny to other monasteries, carried by monks who were inspired by Odillo's vision. Eventually, this practice was adopted by the entire church, becoming a universal tradition. Thus, All Souls' Day was born, a day dedicated to the memory and aid of all departed souls. It became a day of comfort for the living, a day filled with hope and compassion, a day to remember and honor those who have gone before us, ensuring that their journey towards peace is supported by our prayers and love. All Souls' Day is a global observance, celebrated in various ways across different cultures and countries. Different cultures celebrate in unique and meaningful ways, each adding their own special touch to the observance. Each tradition honors the dead in its own way, with rituals and ceremonies that have been passed down through generations. These traditions not only honor the deceased, but also offer comfort and support to the living, bringing communities together in times of remembrance. In Mexico, the celebration is known as Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. It's a vibrant and colorful celebration full of life and joy. Families gather to build altars, known as ofrendas. These altars are decorated with sugar skulls, marigolds, and the favorite foods and drinks of those who have passed away. The belief is that the spirits of their loved ones return during this time. They return to celebrate with their families, who welcome them with open arms and joyous hearts. In the Philippines, the celebration is called Pangangalulua. People, often children, go from house to house, singing traditional songs. They ask for prayers for the souls in purgatory, emphasizing the importance of community and collective support. This tradition highlights how communities come together to support each other, especially during times of loss and grief, showing solidarity and compassion. In Poland, All Souls' Day is known as Zaduski. People visit cemeteries to honor their loved ones. They light candles and lay flowers on the graves, creating a solemn and reflective atmosphere. It's a time for quiet reflection, a moment to pause and remember those who have passed. Families and individuals take this time to reminisce and honor the memories of their loved ones. In Ecuador, the day is called Dia de los Difuntos. Families gather at cemeteries to share a meal. They share this meal with their departed loved ones, believing it brings comfort to their souls. This act of sharing food is seen as a way to comfort the spirits and keep their memory alive. These traditions, though varied, all serve a common purpose: to stay connected with those who have passed, ensuring that their memory lives on, even in death. Section 4. Beyond the Grave. Fascinating facts about honouring the departed. All Souls' Day is rich with tradition. It's also a source of fascinating facts. These facts highlight the universality of remembrance. Praying for the dead is ancient. Many religions do it. It's a way to connect. It connects the living and the dead. It transcends cultural boundaries. Dia de los Muertos is unique. It blends indigenous and Spanish traditions. This blend creates a rich tapestry of beliefs and rituals. It's a celebration unlike any other, In Italy, people bake special cookies. They are called fave dei morti. These beans of the dead are almond-flavored. They are a sweet reminder of those who have passed. In Spain, families gather in cemeteries. They clean and decorate graves. They share food and stories. It's a festive occasion. It celebrates life and remembers death. Section 5. Simple gestures, deep meaning. Honoring loved ones at home. Honoring departed loved ones doesn't require grand gestures. Simple acts can be deeply meaningful. They allow us to remember. They allow us to connect. They allow us to heal. Light a candle. Place it in your window. It's a symbol of hope. It guides lost souls towards the light. Share a memory. Tell a story about your loved one. Keep their memory alive. It's a way to feel their presence. Create a small altar. Include a photo of your loved one. Add flowers or other meaningful objects. It's a special place to remember them. Say a prayer. It doesn't have to be long or complicated. A simple prayer from the heart is enough. Section 6. A legacy of love, remembering those who came before us. All Souls Day is a powerful reminder. It reminds us that love transcends death. Our loved ones may be gone, but they are not forgotten. Their memory lives on. It lives on in our hearts. Take some time today. Reflect on the lives of those you've loved and lost. Remember their laughter. Remember their kindness. Remember the impact they had on your life. Share your memories. Share them with family and friends. Share them with the world. By sharing, we keep their spirit alive. All Souls Day is a time for remembrance. It's a time for gratitude. It's a time to celebrate the lives of those who came before us. How will you honor their memory today?